Hey guys, let's have a conversation about livestock guardian dogs and normal expected behaviors and challenges that come with training one up. So I'm seeing a really large influx right now in just my local area, and I live in a very rural area. I'm in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, over think on the border of Wisconsin. So I'm seeing a really big influx suddenly, like the last week, and I'm not sure why. People trying to get rid of Anatolian Shepherd dogs, Boz Shepherd dogs. Now, I am not going to get into the argument of what the Boz is, B-O-Z. If it's the same as the Anatolian, if the Anatolian is the same as the Congal, is the Boz the same as the Congal? I'm not getting into that debate because that's a really hot one. And this is not the place nor the time for that. But I will say the Anatolian and the Boz, I think everybody can agree that they hail from the same area in Turkey, along with the Congal. So they're a very intense breed of livestock guardian dogs. Everybody can agree on that. They are not soft. They're on the very intense end of the spectrum, meaning they are not for everybody and they are not for every situation. I will also say that they definitely need a job to do. They need to be guarding. They need to be working. And it's why I am so particular about the homes that they go into. I think as a breeder, that's our responsibility, especially when you're dealing with intense breeds of livestock guardian dogs. So why am I seeing such an influx? Well, some of it is my personal opinion that I'm not going to share on here, but another part of it is I think people really lack education and information on what these dogs are and what their needs are. I think they far too often get into the wrong hands with not enough support coming afterwards, and then they have problems. So all of the dogs that I'm seeing right now are at between 1 to 2 years of age, and that really is like, if I could have a comparison, that is like the teenage years for dogs. That's like 14, 15, 16-year-old kids. And I think anybody that's a parent of teenagers knows that that's about the time that you're like, I'm about to choke somebody out because this kid is pushing me to the max. They're flexing their muscles. They're thinking that they're grown. They think that they're hot stuff, and they just think that they know what they're doing and they know more than what their parents do. And it's exactly the same way with these dogs. This is the time that they're going to test the boundaries. You could have a dog that before this was trained up perfectly, great behaviors, stock safe. It's been a breeze up until now. A lot of times people are like, this was a piece of cake. This is great. And then all of a sudden they turn a year, 1.5, and it's like, what happened to my dog? Who is this beast before me? And why aren't they listening to me anymore? So this is a time that owners have to really buckle down, and it's not uncommon and it's normal. But just because something is normal does not mean that it's acceptable. So this also is the time where you'll see if they weren't started off on the best foot, now you're really going to see that coming to the forefront. And I have my own opinions of the way that these dogs should be started. It's not the same way that everybody believes, and that again is another controversial topic, but it is what it is. Bottom line is, this is the age you'll start to see behaviors crop up. I do see a gal, she's trying to rehome a Boz or an Anatolian. Honestly, I can't remember anymore. She's like somewhat local within a couple states of us. And she said, all of a sudden, my dog is killing my livestock. And when you hear that, that sounds like, holy heck, there's something wrong with this dog. But when you dig deeper into the meat and bones of this dog did not suddenly, at 2 years old, start killing livestock. This dog, all of a sudden, at 2 years old, now is exposed to livestock. So this dog has never seen sheep before. All of a sudden now the owners have sheep, and this dog is like on this rampage of carnage. So I can all but guarantee you that this dog is not all of a sudden feral and lost its dang mind. All of a sudden you have a dog that has not been trained up around livestock at all, now is probably just turned loose with them and is like, this is fun as heck. Now I have stuff to chase. It's running from me. Like, how much fun is this? So yeah, it's not just that all of a sudden the dog has decided to lose its mind and it was perfect before and now has just tripped its trigger and is crazy. No, it's this dog has never been exposed to anything like this before. And you cannot take a dog, I don't care what it is, and drop it with something new and expect it just to know perfectly. Like, there's thousands of years of instinct in with these dogs, yes. If they're coming from working lines, yes. But that does not mean they don't need fine-tuning, okay? The best example I can give, and it's one that almost everybody can understand, is if you take a Belgian Malinois, and it comes from a long lineage of police dogs, okay? It comes from fantastic stock. A $20,000 dog whose parents are both working, both in police work, blah, 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 blah. You get it. And you take that puppy and you just raise it in a house and you raise it like a normal dog. And then all of a sudden it's 2 years old and you hand it to a police officer and say, here, now go find some drugs. The dog is going to look at you like, I'm sorry, what? Because it has not been trained. It's the same thing. So the bottom line is that it's not that these dogs are all of a sudden failures, because that's not what it is. And with any dog in any situation, 99% of the time is human error. It's not their fault. So, and can a dog at 2 years old that's never been with livestock, can it be trained to livestock? Absolutely. It's not a lost cause whatsoever. There is still hope. It can be done. You just have to approach it the right way. And that's something that, I've done tons of videos on, but we can go over it again. Like, that's cool. But bottom line is, all is not lost. It's not your dog's fault. So don't give up. Don't give up. And yeah, that's it. If you have more questions, drop them in the comments so we can go over things. We can talk about it, figure it out. And yes, sometimes people will get these dogs without realizing how much training it takes, how much effort and time it takes, because it does. And they realize they're over their head. And in that case, they just want to rehome. And sometimes that's the best thing for the dog and for the people. So sometimes it is in the best interest of everybody to rehome the dog, but all is not lost. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll come back at you again soon.